example, not to compare, but if you imagine Islam in the same way, there's things that we have on the outside. Those are the things that we do. And then there's things on the inside, and those are the things that we believe. So the things that we do, and the things that we believe. So what are some of the things that we do as Muslims? Some of the acts that we do? Yes?
We eat.
We eat, but what specifically, what do we eat?
We eat
Or what do we not eat?
We don't eat pork.
We don't eat pork. Okay, what else?
Pray.
Prayer. So that's one thing. Anything else that we do? Say, in Ramadan, what do we do? Yes? Ramadan, we do something during the day. Yes?
We fast.
We fast. So we have prayer, we have fast. Once a year, Muslims go to Mecca to do what? Yeah? Hajj, pilgrimage, yeah. We also do something with our money. Zakat. Zakat is tithing, when we give money to the poor people. Those are all things that we do, okay? But what Islam really is about is not just the things that we do, but the things that we believe in as well. That's the core. That's the inside, right? So, for instance, we believe in honesty, being an honest person. That's something that's at your core. We believe in responsibility. So we all have a responsibility. So if we're walking around the masjid or the madrasa or at home or at school or outside and we see a piece of trash outside, what's our responsibility?
Pick it up and throw it in trash.
Pick it up. Even if you say this isn't my house, but this is God's house.
It's not your trash.
That's why we have to take care of the place, because we believe in cleanliness. That's something that's on the outside and on the inside. So the Prophet said something about cleanliness. Does anyone know the Hadith? What did the Prophet say about cleanliness? It's a part of an-nadafatu min. It's a part of your faith. An-nadafatu min al-iman. Right? So if you want to be a faithful person, it's about cleanliness. Now, let me give you a couple of stories, and maybe you've heard some of these stories. But why we're commemorating Fatima Zahra alayhi salam is because she was very special. I'll give you a few examples. There was a blind man in Medina. So the Prophet was born in Mecca, but he moved to Medina. And Fatima Zahra was also born in Mecca, but when she was very young, she moved with her father to Medina. So that's where Fatima Zahra was raised, and that's where she got married, she had her children, and that's where she passed away, and that's where she's buried. So if any of you have the chance, already had the chance, or in the future, inshallah, you have the chance to perform the Hajj or go to Umrah, when you go to Medina, before you go to Mecca, there's the graveyard of Al-Baqi'. That's where some of our Imams are buried, and that's where in Medina we say that Fatima Zahra is buried as well. So there was a blind man, and his name was Abdullah ibn Maktoum, blind man. And he was a companion of the Prophet, he was a good man, but he was blind, he couldn't see, he had no vision. So, one day he came to the door of the house of Fatima and he knocked the door. And he was a blind man, he couldn't see, but what did she do? She wore her hijab before going out. Before opening the door, she wore her hijab. Even though that she knew that this was a blind man who couldn't see, but she still wore her hijab. And when she was asked about that, they asked her, they said, why did you wear the hijab? Do you know what she said? She said, although he can't see me, but I can see him. And that's really, really important. When we're talking about modesty, being modest, it's two ways. That's why we have to also, the Quran tells us to lower our gaze. We have to be very, very respectful. Men respectful of women, and women also respectful of men when we look at each other. So that's just one example. See, Fatima Zahra, she knew that this was a blind man, and he couldn't see her, but she still chose to wear her hijab because she recognized that the hijab was a sign of modesty. When you cover your bodies, and all of us as men and women, we have to cover our bodies, right? Even if in society, we see people that aren't covering their bodies, that's our responsibility is still to cover our bodies for our own sake, for our own modesty, right? And so she wore the hijab for her own modesty. She said, he can't see me, but I can see him. So that's really, really important. And as you grow and you're here in the United States, it's not a Muslim country, and people don't wear the hijab, of course, they're not Muslim. But that's okay. That doesn't mean that you should look at everything. It means that you should also be modest in what you look at. So, and another example is when Fatima Zahra, she was going to get married. And who was she going to get married to? Imam Ali. And their marriage was very, very simple. It wasn't like, sometimes you go to weddings today, and they're very, very lavish, and people spend a lot of money, and that's okay if the money is there, but what's more important isn't just the day of the wedding and the hour of the wedding. What's more important is the marriage that comes after, the relationship that comes after. But anyways, she was going to get married, so they didn't have a lot. I mean, the Prophet wasn't a multi-millionaire. Imam Ali, he didn't have anything. Imam Ali, the only thing that he owned when he wanted to marry Fatima Zahra, he didn't have a home, he didn't have anything. All he had was two things, a sword and a shield. That's it, because he was a warrior. So he told the Prophet, he said, this is all I have. So the Prophet said, keep your sword and sell your shield. You don't need your shield. We need your sword. So he sold his shield. He took some of the money. Some of the companions, they took the money. They went and they purchased some things for them to get married. One thing that the Prophet had given to Fatima Zahra, his daughter, was a wedding dress, a beautiful wedding dress. And so she had that wedding dress. And before the wedding, a woman came to the door. She was knocking on the door. And Fatima Zahra went out. And she saw her. And the lady said, she introduced herself. She said, I'm a poor woman. I don't have anything. I don't have anything of value. I need something that's going to, that I can purchase some clothes with, so that I can purchase some food, something for myself. And so Fatima Zahra had nothing to give her except for that one dress. So she went and took her own wedding dress. I mean, imagine, you guys, if you could see yourself in however 15, 20 years you're going to get married, and you have the suit, you have the tuxedo, and it's really valuable, you paid a lot of money for it, and then you have to donate it on that day. Imagine, right? How are you going to show up to your wedding? What are you going to wear? You can't just go show up in jeans, right?
It's not going to happen.
But that's what Fatima Zahra did. Why? Because she knew that it was the right thing to do. It wasn't the cool thing to do. It wasn't the popular thing to do. Today, where all of our friends, they want us to do what's cool. They want us to do what's popular. And we have all these things on Facebook and Instagram, and we see all these pictures on TV of everything that's cool, the cool things to wear, and the cool things to say, and the cool things to eat and drink, and the pair of shoes that comes out that everybody wants, and the car. Everybody wants the latest stuff, right? The latest video games, the latest fashion, all of that. And it's okay, but we also have to be moderate. You know what moderate means? That we're not very extreme, that we're not always wanting these things, right? So anyways, so Fatima Zahra takes that and she gives it to this lady. It's the only thing that she owned, because it was valuable. And so the Prophet, when the time for the wedding came, she didn't tell the Prophet, because one thing is when you do good deeds, also you don't want to go around and telling everybody that I did this good deed. Yeah.
Is that called Riyah?
Riyah, yeah. Riyah is when you do anything for the sake of pleasing other people and wowing other people, and not for Allah. Now sometimes you can do something which is for the sake of Allah, but other people also see it and they get inspired, so they do the same thing. That's okay. But to say, hey everybody, look, I did this, I did this, I did that, that's what we call riyah. And you want to avoid riyah. What is that?
It's called bragging.
Yeah, it's like bragging. It's sort of like bragging. And you want to avoid that as much as possible, right? So she gave it away, and the Prophet asked her, he said, okay, now is the time for the wedding, so prepare yourself, wear the dress. So she told him. She said that, I gave the dress away to a poor lady. So the Prophet asked her why. And the Prophet wasn't questioning her, because the Prophet was the best person who did charity. I mean, he was the most generous person. He was the kindest person. But he wanted her to know why, so that other people, so that they would be an example for other people as well. So he asked her why. And she quoted a verse from the Quran. And this is an important verse. It says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. Which means, God tells us in the Quran, that you will not become great, you will not achieve greatness, unless you give from that which you love. So there's things that you have, that you're attached to and you love, You're not going to achieve greatness until you give the things that you love. Give away. So that's what she told her father, the Prophet.
Laila.
And the Prophet, he praised her. He said, good job. Good job, my daughter. Good job, sweetheart. You did the right thing. You did the right thing by giving to that lady. Sometimes we have to give up things that we love, right? And so, because of that, the Prophet told her that because you did that, and God saw what you did, and the angels saw what you did, they witnessed it all, and you didn't do it to please other people, you did it solely for the sake of God, that God is rewarding you now. And he told her that if you go to your room, you will find, in the place of that dress that you gave away, you're going to find a dress that the angels have stitched from heaven, and they've prepared it for you. And that's what she wore. That's what she wore to her wedding. Because she gave up that which she loved, and she didn't do it so that God gives her something in return. She didn't know that God was going to give her something in return, a dress, but she did it because it was the right thing to do. That's why, whenever we do things, you should keep that in mind. We're doing things not because we want reward, or we want to wow people, or we want to impress our parents, or we want to impress the people, who go to school with us, our classmates. We want to do it because it's the right thing to do. And that's the stuff that's at the core. Remember how I said there's things at the surface and at the core? At the core is when you do things with the right intention. When you have character, when you have honesty, when you have integrity, when you have responsibility, when you have accountability, when you have modesty. All of this stuff is at the core. And then once you have that, how do we teach other people? Is by doing those other actions. The prayer, the fasting, the zakat, the hijab, the pilgrimage, all of that. That's at the surface. But what's in the middle, what's more important, what's at the core, is all of those good things. And the reason why we commemorate Fatima Zahra alayhi salam is because not only did she pray and fast and wear hijab and give zakat and all of that, but at her core she was a very good person. She was a very righteous person. And that's why the Prophet loved her very much. That's why Imam Ali was attracted to her. That's why he wanted to marry her. And that's why she wanted to marry him, because he was the same as well. He was also a person who was, on the outside he was brave, he was strong, he was good at his prayers, at his fasting, at all of that. But at his core he was also a very good person. He was a truthful person. He was an honest person. He never lied. He never, even when he became Khalifa, he had the money of all the Muslims in the treasury that he could use at his own disposal if he wanted to. But he never did that, ever. Because it was not the right thing to do. He only did that was right. And that's why, when this time of year comes, we take time out of our schedule, because it's the weekend right now, right? You can go and have fun, you can go and play, but you come to the masjid and you listen to a lecture and you learn, because you want to honor those people in your life, because those are our true models. Those are our true role models. Not the people that we see on TV that just live a lavish lifestyle and live in fancy homes and drive cars. That's okay if one day, and inshallah all of you one day will become successful. You'll make a good living, you'll earn a good living, but you do so for the right reasons, and you live in a good house and you drive a comfortable car, whatever car you want to drive. But you have to do it for the right reasons, right? So, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He blesses us, and let us end with a short dua. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is a dua that we do for ourselves and for the believers, the ones who are alive and the ones who have passed away. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات تابع بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات إنك مجيب الدعوات إنك قاضي الحاجات إنك على كل شيء قدير. We ask you, O Allah, to forgive us and forgive our Muslim brothers and sisters, and to bless us and to forgive those who have left us and those who remain. And we ask you to bless us abundantly and make us among the righteous people. Ameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ahli bayti at-tayyibin at-tahirin.
Guys, any questions?
Any questions? The dua? It doesn't have a particular name. It's just a dua for forgiveness. Yes, you can. Yeah. Any dua you can do during Ramadan. during the qunut. Yeah, good question. That's a good question. Yes.
Is shrimp halal or haram?
Shrimp is halal. Delicious. Crabs, scholars differ on it, but most Shia scholars say that. Anything, by the way, just a general rule, anything where you see that scholars, they differ on it, it's good to stay away from it. Even if one scholar says that it's halal, it's best to stay away from it. It's best to stay. There's a hadith, it says, al-ihtiyat hasan fi kulli hal, that precaution is great in any situation.
Heather, anything?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So in the summer, like, it gets really hot in Arizona, a lot of kids will, like, wear tank tops and shorts. Is there a certain rule on that?
Now, if it's really, really overwhelming, where it becomes dangerous, now first of all, in those situations, try to avoid being in a situation where you're going to have to wear that type of clothing. So if you don't have to be out in the sun, don't be out in the sun. I know Arizona is really, really bad. I've been here in August. Actually, 2 years ago I was here in August, and it was a mistake. Okay, it was an avoidable mistake. It's if you are going to actually, you know what? Exposing your skin is worse than wearing clothes because the sun, it has harmful rays.
Yeah, like
UV ray.
sunburn.
Right. You could get sunburn. So it's actually better to wear clothes, even though it's hotter and you're gonna sweat more. But it's actually better to cover your skin. So what I'll tell you is try to avoid the situations where you have to be in that heat. Now, if you're gonna wear like a t-shirt sometimes, that's okay. Maybe shorts, but make sure it's also modest. Make sure that it's covering a certain amount of your body because those clothes, you know, they come in all shapes and sizes. Some of them reveal a lot of skin, some of them not so much. So try to be as modest as possible with that.
You have a question, son? Huh?
Did you have a question?
Yeah,
You had your
yeah.
hand up. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Do you know if you go in the sun, then you'll get very hot. But if you cover your eyes, then there will be nice.
I imagine, yeah. I don't know what it's like to be on the sun, but I imagine if you cover your eyes, it might help, yeah.
Yeah.
So aren't
Good
you
job.
like non-Muslims like
No, most scholars say no.
So like if you're at like at a dojo or something, if you're wet and you touch the mat, are you like can you slip right?
Yes, you can. I mean, in any case, if you're sweating, you still want to clean up before you pray. Yeah. You still want to clean up before you pray. Dry up, wash up if you can. Take a shower.
Can you talk about for 2 minutes about the shock? If you have a shock, whether you are you have to go to wuzu again or not?
Yeah. So sometimes like we do wudu, and then we forget whether we did wudu or not, or whether we broke our wudu. Now, if you've done wudu earlier, so you did wudu say 2 hours ago or an hour ago, you know that you did the wudu for sure, 100%. And then later, you like 2 hours later, you say, oh, did I do wudu or did I not? Or not, did I do wudu? Did I break my wudu or not? You go with the assumption that you didn't break it. So you just continue.
Also like I have like tree sap on my head.
What is that?
Tree sap?
Yeah.
I cannot do it like that right now.
Yeah, if you do your best to remove it, if it prevents the water from getting to your skin, that's a problem. But just do your best to remove it, and then do the wudu on top. Yeah, but tree sap, it's unless it's like a lot, that should be okay. Yeah, that should be okay. When you're doing wudu, just wipe over the hand like this to make sure that the water has gone.
Come off?
Yeah, if you can make it come off, then you make it come off. Yeah.
All right, Malan Sahib is going to give lollipop to everyone, and then we'll do time. All right?
Do I get one too?
Yeah, let him get one.
Yeah.
Let him get one.
Okay, so how do we do this? Do we?
Just one to each, or they can come to you. Layla, can you come?
Why don't we stand in a line? Single file line.
Let me have 2 lollipops. Let me have 2 lollipops.
Blue lollipop.
These look nice. You want one, Sada?
I know how I have 2 lollipops. I have another lollipop. Yeah.
No, we're right.
I get
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله
Then you smash the
أشهد أن محمدا رسول اللهم صل على محمد أشهد أن محمدا رسول اللهم صل على محمد أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا وأولاده معصومين بالحق حجة الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله حقا حقا لا إله إلا الله تعبدا ورقا لا إله إلا الله إيمانا وصدقا اللهم ارحمنا وارحم المسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات رحم الله من قرأ سورة الفاتحة تسبق الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
نسوي نحط الاتصال إن شاء الله Yeah, I have it here.
This one is
It's good.
Okay, let's go.
It's broken.
Huh?
Yeah, so just remake
It's broken, I know.
I'm going to be
Yeah.
behind you.
Okay, let's go. You go.
This is my class. Hey, over 13. Heightened. 15.
It don't matter if whoever from here, right?
لا لا ما دام اكو خط اتصال
بس لازم خط الاتصال over 15 over 13
يعني الاكبر في الاكبر
سيد عباس
Tata, but you know, I'm using my volleyball.
Okay. I will go to mom.
Is there a okay خلينا اتصال للنساء زين
ما حد يكون
بس لا يكون فاصلة كبيرة يعني
فانت صير ورا السيد
او نقدر ايضا نرجع هذه اذا
خرجها لا خي خرجها
let's bring this a little bit back so that there's a line
one part
connecting with the ladies.
Irtada, stay with it.
We can just move one person there.
One person, okay.
Yeah, so that, because we're gonna have more kids here.
Okay.
Other, you can stay over there and open just a little.
What you can do, you can be here.
Okay.
And you can.
Okay, we'll get you the present after namaz, okay?
I'm gonna be
You want a present?
No, I think
Okay, after namaz. Finish over here, still over here.
Okay, we just leave.
Okay. No, no.
So should we begin?
Bismillah.
My salah is qasr, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm only doing 2 rak'ah and then I finish.
Okay.
When I finish with 2 rak'ah, everybody else, you stand up by yourself and you do
About
rak'ah
it.
3 and 4.
You just have to
Where do you live?
read it.
I live in California.
Sayyid Abbas is gonna be doing it after you.
Okay.
When you salam, he lead you after
Okay,
when you
okay. So you follow the leader, say Abbas after me.
Line up. Inside.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah.
Guys,
Ashhadu
stand
anna
up.
Muhammadan
Guys.
Rasulullah. أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله يا محسن قد أتاك المسيء أنت المحسن وأنا المسيء وتجاوز عن قبيح ما تعلم مني يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. صلاة الظهر الله أكبر.